The Dawgs keep barking, and they keep adding in the portal and keep adding to their roster. Georgia lands a key linebacker transfer from Army. We're going to break it all down for you right here, right now. I'm Nathan Johnston alongside Brad Hopkins. It's time to break the huddle. Brad, Georgia, proven time and time again. They go out every single year, get the key pieces that they're missing. We could go on and on about all the transfers that they got this year. There's one guy that stands out, and that's Elo coming in from Army, of all places.
Yeah.
Very physical, very disciplined guy at the linebacker position, a dream player for a coach in Glenn Schumann. I think this is, or Schumann. I apologize for pronouncing it wrong. This is a dream player for that Georgia defense and for Kirby Smart. Thoughts on Georgia's first commitment in this year's portal and coming into this fall? Obviously, Kirby, very high on him at SEC Media Days. What does he bring to this Georgia defense, and how does he add to one of the probably craziest, most talented defenses out there this year?
Absolutely, Nate. So there's a lot to like about this, from Georgia's standpoint. This is a guy that, of course, committed after spring, which was huge. But I think about, he fits an immediate need. Georgia, of course, lost Chaz Chambliss. They lost Jalen Walker. They lost Mykel Williams.
Yep.
All, either exhausted eligibility / went to the draft. And then, of course, a big surprise, a guy that was going to be their number one edge guy was, had huge NFL draft, prospects. Damon Wilson transfers to Missouri. So that edge room all of a sudden was looking really, really thin. They have some talent there, but, it's young and unproven. And then they go get Elo Modozie. Thank you.
I think that's how you pronounce
it. Modozie. Nate, another guy we talked about a few weeks ago, David Bailey, who transferred from Stanford to Texas Tech. Early on, Georgia was all over him. NIL package got him. But as soon as I'm just going to call him Elo. As soon as Elo hit the portal, Kirby, Glenn Schumann, they were on this guy. You mentioned Army. Army, this guy is going to have a good work ethic. He's going to be a high character guy. This is just those two characteristics, just those two factors immediately is a guy that I think is huge for Georgia's locker room. Nate, one other thing that stands out, we just got done talking about a guy in Carter Hewitt that came from an FCS program. This is a guy in Elo that comes from Army, and this is absolutely no disrespect to Army's facilities, but now you've got world-class facilities, you've got a world-class weight room, a first-class strength and conditioning staff, and then, the coaching, but I was trying to say, the chance to, go and get meals and everything, just all those different aspects at Georgia. This guy has got a chance to completely, revamp his body, has got a chance to completely, just up his game. This is a very, 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 very big deal for Georgia. I think a guy that, is going to have immediate impact. I think he's going to play a lot of snaps. He's got a chance to completely burst onto the scene in Athens and in the SEC.
Yeah, Brad, call me crazy, but I'm just going to throw this out here right now, and you can clock it or whatever you can put it on the tape. Come February 2026, Elo's going to be a first-round draft pick.
Ooh, okay.
That's how good this kid is. That's how talented he is, and I'm not putting any pressure on him or that Georgia staff to turn him into it. I think by default, to your point, coming in from Army over now, this was a highly recruited prospect. I mean, we talk about Georgia getting him, but we forget all the other schools that were after this guy too, that were in the mix. Georgia ends up with him for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I see the ceiling for this guy being so high and the floor being right here too.
Absolutely.
This kid's got the talent. He's got the size, 6'3", 248 pounds. He's only going to get leaner, and what I mean by that is just more physically in shape. I'm sure he's in physical shape already, considering that he was at Army. But I think even to your point there, I mean, you think about the scheduling difference, right, between Army and Georgia. Can he stay disciplined? It'll be a lot less, or I should say a lot more off time, so to speak, within a day-to-day schedule for this guy. as opposed to Army. You're getting up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. doing PT. Then you got to go to practice. Then you got to go to weight training. Then you got to go to class. Everything's mandatory there. Now it's just football and class.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
And so I'm curious to see the transition on that side. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Like I said, Kirby spoke very highly of him at SEC Media Days. Kirby loves this guy.
He does.
And when Kirby speaks highly of you, chances are you're going to perform very well on the field.
That's right. Nate, I'm going to take your thunder a little bit here, and I'm going to do a comparison.
Sure.
Georgia fans, I want you to hear me out on this. I don't think he will put up the numbers that this guy did, but his size and just how he plays the game reminds me a little bit of Jarvis Jones. That is, I've definitely watched a little bit of tape. And like I said, I think it's more about his physical makeup, 6'3", 250. I don't, Jarvis put up, 12 and a half sacks and 11 and a half sacks, somewhere along in there in his time at Georgia. This guy reminds me of that a little bit. It's a much different defense. It's not, he's going to have some other responsibilities besides just pinning his ears back like Jarvis did and getting after the quarterback. But if they just, once again, you mentioned, I totally agree with you, it's now about getting to class, getting in the weight room, football, where you had a little bit of those extra things in Army. I just think this guy's got so much untapped potential. This is it's a huge pickup. Two other guys you mentioned Georgia edge players right now, Gabe Harris and Quintavious Johnson. In my mind, Elo comes in there, and that is a really, really good room now. I mean, it's a complete room, and look, we've seen it when Georgia has that edge rusher. I think about Jalen Walker last year. Trayvon Walker a couple years ago. With Nolan Smith, when they have an edge rusher, this defense just
changes everything.
It goes to another level, and Georgia's got a couple of interior defensive linemen. We're not going to talk about them right now, but Nate, if everyone plays up to standard, this could be, I don't think it's going to be quite 2022, but we could be looking at another really, really special defense for Georgia.
100% agree. Want to touch on one more thing, Brad, and that's the leadership.
Yeah.
We talk about the locker room fit. Obviously, C.J. Allen there, probably going to be day one captain. But when I think about the Georgia defenses over the last several years, you and I mentioned Nolan Smith. You think of Nakobe Dean. Mm-hmm. You think of Roquan Smith. Those were leaders on and off the field. To me, for the last couple years since Nolan Smith's departure, they've been lacking leadership on the defensive side. I haven't seen someone truly step up and be that captain leader. Curious to see if Elo Modozie ends up being that guy this year.
Yeah, and look, I mean, even if it's just he's a transfer that's just coming in there and may not be the vocal guy, but he's more of a leader by example. Because look, to go to Army, for that matter, to go to Navy and Air Force and play football, and then transfer to a big SEC school like that, this guy's going to have the work ethic. He's going to have the character. And I love this locker room edition. We know Kirby is about culture there. This is another guy to go and boost that UGA culture. And it's a huge pickup, obviously, for the edge, for the on the field stuff, but all the off the field stuff that you hear about this guy and what he brings. I think it's a very, very, very big pickup for the Bulldog defense.
I agree. I think this is probably the most important transfer that Georgia has gotten under Kirby Smart's leadership. I truly believe that. I think when we look back years from now, this guy is going to stand out as one of the best transfers to ever come into the University of Georgia.
Could be. I'm interested to see if this guy ends up. Like I said, I mean, I don't think he's going to put up double-digit sacks, but if he's a guy that is consistently getting, several pressures a game. And here's the thing, too. What does Kirby and Coach Schumann ask to do with these edge guys? They're critical in stopping the run. If this is a guy that can set the edge, that was a big problem for Georgia last year. Georgia did not do a good job, and that is also on the defensive line, but these edge guys did not do a good job last year at times of setting the edge. If this is a guy that's able to come in there, get some TFLs, limit some, 1 and 2 yard gains, this is a valuable pickup. And like you said, a guy that has got a chance to really boost his draft stock come next spring.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of chances to have some one-on-ones. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the difference.
Yeah.
If he can, he's got that length. He's got the 6'3", he's got the size, he's got the physicality. If he can, like you said, if he can get some quarterback pressures, some sacks, I think of games like home against Texas with Arch Manning. Those are key games to look out for with a guy like Elo. He can be the difference.
Absolutely. And another one that I think, Jalen Walker definitely had his moments in this game last year, but this is a guy to me, I think about when they play on Black Friday, Haynes King and Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
This is a guy that could finally bottle up Haynes King. That's huge. That's huge because, we saw Haynes King destroy Georgia last year, and this is a guy that could start that.
Yeah, I do too. I think so. Dawgs fans, let us know down in the comments what you think about your new edge rusher and Elo Modozie. And can he be the guy that makes an immediate impact for this Georgia defense? We'll have Jake Rowe on the show in a couple weeks to give a season preview of the Georgia Bulldogs. We're excited to have him on. He's a great friend of ours, and we're looking forward to it. Georgia fans, be sure to like this video, comment down below, subscribe for more Georgia content, and be sure to turn on that bell notification so you can stay up to date when we post our latest video. We'll see you next week. It's time to break the huddle.